It is time to make your way through the darkness. Rebirth begins where the old self is finally laid to rest. Hi, love. Welcome into your timeless mythos reading. Thank you for being here. Whether you're new or returning, please know that you are welcome here. You are safe here with me and my guides, and nothing is being demanded of you. I'm Christina. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine and an intuitive channel. And this reading is going to help us dive into the story and message today from the goddess Hel. Hel is a Nordic goddess. She was born into prophecy. She is the daughter of Loki and the giantess Angbora, one of the three children the gods feared would change the fate of the world. Her brothers became monsters of legend, the wolf Fenrir and the world serpent Jormungandr. But Hel was different. Her body was a threshold, one of half living flesh and the other half the color of the grave. Seeing this, Odin, the Allfather, cast her into the deepest realm beneath the worlds and gave her dominion over it. There she became the ruler of Helheim. Hel didn't rage against that. She built a kingdom of stillness. All of those who died quiet deaths, from illness, from age, from the long wear of life, came to her halls. It was warriors who went to Valhalla. But Helheim was for the rest of us. And she received them all, not with punishment, but with a sort of grave patience. Hel understood something critical, that every life has to cross her threshold, not as an ending, but as a dark passage where the old self dissolves before the next world can begin. And so we come back to that message of walking through the dark, because rebirth begins when the old self is finally laid to rest. So we have here today with Hel a theme of rebirth, a theme of laying what no longer suits us, what is no longer ours, the shell that we should be ready to let go of in order to move to our next stage, letting that rest. So the theme underneath this reading today, as we consider rebirth energy, is wisdom. Let's get our first message here from Hel, as we consider what is the wisdom that we need. What is the wisdom that is accessible to us? And you see in this beautiful wisdom card, we have an owl, we have mandala type drawings, we have these seeing eyes, and also the phases of the moon. Understanding that we can't actually understand everything. That there is mystery, there is etheric energy, that which we can feel, we can intuit, but we cannot fully know in this idea of rebirth, inherent to the idea of transformation. So will we allow? Will we receive from the word? Okay. So let's see what we have here as our first card. So what came out face up was the Page of Swords and the upright over top of the King of Cups. So we're seeing here some new ideas, some new inspiration that maybe is helping us to move past, King of Cups energy in the upright has so much to do with mastering our emotions and our domain. We feel very deeply, but we can contain it and hold it. The King of Cups in reverse, our emotions have been out of sorts. Our emotions have been moving beyond the sort of balance that we would ideally have. And so here we're seeing immediately, we're finding in this wisdom, in this allowing of time, this idea that new ideas, new inspiration comes as we release these emotional states that have not been serving us. And here we have, going with that, the Fool of the Major Arcana. This is the first card in the hero's journey. This is allowing ourselves to fall. This is allowing ourselves to trust fall into the arms of the universe, to understand that there is a larger purpose for us. We don't have to be this mythic warrior, right? These Valhalla types. Hell is for the rest of us. It's for those of us living a normal life. It's for those of us who want a partner, who want a family, who want a normal career and a life of meaning and dignity. And here we have this message: you can trust the universe. The only way to start is actually to begin. The only way to start is to say, you know what? I'm willing to believe in this new idea. I am willing to let inspiration come to me. I'm willing to let go of my fear, of my depression, of my anxiety, of the things that have been holding me back, and move forward like the Fool, this innocent energy of belief and acceptance. And now let's see these three cards that came in this interesting connection together. First, we have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Magician that came out sideways, and the Six of Swords in reverse. How interesting. Three of Pentacles is this idea that you may need to let go of some of the either relationships or some of the ties that have been binding you to your current physical reality, to some of the methods, some of the ideas, some of the ways that you have been structuring your life, we're seeing may not be serving you. And we have this Magician card sideways, and then again crossed by the Six of Swords. We're not hearing here it's time to leave everything behind, okay? It's not that you need to throw out everything you've done so far. The idea of the Magician is that you can manifest. Here, let me show you the whole card. You can manifest what you want in this lifetime because you actually have everything you already need. Okay, you don't need to wait for more things. You don't need to call in more things. You have what you need. And it isn't starting over completely from the beginning. It isn't leaving everything behind, but there is a change that is needed. And we're seeing that. It's an emotional change as we see this Page of Swords over the King of Cups. It's a starting with an innocent heart, trusting the universe, remembering, do you talk to the divine, to God, to the universe like she's your best friend? Like she wants the absolute best for you the same way your best friend does? And can you allow yourself to release what is needed, to understand that you're not actually stuck, that you have what you need, if you can just shift the way that you're thinking? Now, I want to pull a Moonology card here. The moon always refers to what is hidden. And I'm asking the question, what are we not seeing yet? Asking help, this goddess of rebirth, this goddess of stillness, quiet, finding peace within ourselves and the life that we are living, the life we have lived, so that when we come to the end of our days, we actually feel fulfilled. We know that I was in pursuit of my soul's purpose, not what society told me, not any of that, but my true purpose. And what we have here is honor your feelings. So it's interesting. Simultaneously, we have this idea of letting go of what has not been serving us in the realm of emotion, of a level of disruption, of a level of discontent. And at the same time, honor your feelings. Honor your feelings. It's not just about your thoughts. It's not just about, setting a strategy or making a perfect financial plan. There is a necessity here, interesting, of honoring your feelings. Let's see. So we're just looking for some further clarification. This is the Tarot de los Gatos Negro, the Black Cat Tarot. To get a little bit more clarification on this message of rebirth from the Nordic goddess Hel. What do we need to know? What do we need to hear to help us move where we're trying to go? Okay, we have here the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight. And you see here cutting through a briar, cutting through a bramble, riding the horse. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. We need to honor our feelings and our wisdom, but also be willing, as we looked at this idea of thoughts that are not serving us, of structures that are not serving us, just take action. It is time to trust your feelings and just act. Stop hesitating. Understand, here we have the high priestess in the upright, and the high priestess was crossed by the ace of swords in the reverse. So again, a new idea, but understanding this is so interesting. These two are closely lined up. The high priestess, she knows the mysteries of the universe. She connects to the moon. She has the water, that depth of intuition at her disposal. And yet there are things we cannot know as we are in the process of becoming, as we are in the process of receiving and creating this change for ourselves. And here we have that ace of swords in reverse. And you see here, it's a cat at the top. So this is the Knight of Swords, really, at the top of the hill, blowing that bugle. Okay, sounding the call, bringing in the light of the sun. The light, do you see how the day is dawning here? The light of dawn. It's this incredible clarity, eureka moment, and new ideas, but allowing that it's not just about your thoughts. Honoring our feelings. If we want this rebirth energy, this invitation into stepping past the current threshold that you are standing at and allowing yourself to receive from the universe, to achieve what matters most to you, cutting through the thoughts that don't serve us, cutting through the feelings that don't serve us, cutting through with great clarity the structures, the notions, even relationships that do not serve us, knowing that we can create what we want. It's not just about something new coming in. Again, what we're seeing is that this is a building on what you've already created. But there's a turning point here emotionally and in the thoughts, and particularly in the hesitation to act. We have this Knight of Swords with the Fool. Let yourself act. Honor your feelings. Honor your knowing. Trust the universe and take action. And then we find ourselves here with the Page of Wands as the closing card in our clarification. The Page of Wands, which is approaching this beautiful energy. You see here, this looks a lot like the angel of temperance, right? This angel of sort of sorting and judging souls as we're moving up into the afterlife, as we're moving into rebirth. Temperance is about rebirth. Judgment is about rebirth, that angel energy. And so we see here this invitation to approach with a beginner's mind. Pages aren't kings. Okay, they are on the path of self-actualization. They are taking those first steps. We have 2 pages here encouraging us to take steps, like new steps. We have 2 cards of new beginning here. We have 2 cards of trusting the universe and manifesting together. And then specifically, we have these swords saying, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Cut through that which is not serving you. Cut past the ties or the bindings that are no longer serving you and allow yourself to move through this threshold into what it is you want, and particularly through the dark. Remembering this message is come through the dark with me. Rebirth begins when the old self is finally laid to rest. You don't have to hold on to what is no longer serving you. You can cut it away, that old self, that frightened self, that self who let her emotions, his emotions, overtake them, who let yourself be stuck in negative thoughts, in cycles that no longer serve you. Let that self go. Honor that self. Honor that part of you who got you here, but acknowledge what got me here isn't going to get me where I want to be. I have to let you go now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything you did for me. to get me where I need to go. And now it's time to say goodbye. It is time for me to step fully into who I am becoming next. That's the purpose of every part of our journey, of every stage of ourself, of every iteration of who we are in this lifetime, is to help me transform into who I'm becoming next, to walk through the darkness and let that darkness be the fuel of my inner transformation. I'm going to close off with a card from the universe, an oracle card, to see what is the last message that will serve us today. That was like half of the deck. That was just a misshuffle. What message, dear Hel, goddess of Helheim, the underworld, and us regular spirits, what is the message for today? Well, we still got several. Okay, we have Hather's celebration, solitude, and Isha, weaving. Transformation, rebirth is a process. Rebirth is a process. We descend first into the dark. We allow ourselves to be in solitude. We allow ourselves to celebrate our past, both the things where we were wise and the places where we weren't, to celebrate the lessons we learned from the things that hurt us, and to weave together a coherent story. Do you see all these threads, all these rainbow threads of Isha's weaving? Do you see here? It's all the colors, the bright colors, the dark colors, all together weave the story of our soul's journey in this lifetime. Allow yourself sufficient solitude and space as you're moving through this portal, as you're moving through this transformation into this rebirth, into this next step for yourself, to weave together all the colors of your story, to celebrate everything, every teacher you have had, those you wanted and those you didn't. For very often, the experiences we least wanted, the people that we feel hurt us the most, are our greatest teachers in this lifetime. And if we can allow ourselves to be grateful for them, that is where we find our highest potential. Thank you for being here, love. Thank you for showing up for your own story with courage and an open heart. And until next time, be gentle with yourself, okay?